Hello everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves, welcome back to a new match preview today as Wolves, to a degree, are preparing to travel to Greece to take on Olympiacos in the, what is it, the quarterfinal now? Round of 16 in the Europa League first leg. Well, it's going to be a strange one today. Obviously, we're going to be talking about what's been going on the lead up to the game, giving my thoughts on that quickly, obviously talking about team news, predictions and what's been going on recently. As always, if you let me know your thoughts on the whole situation that I'm going to be talking about today, and obviously your match predictions as well, leave it in the comments section down below. So Wolves, of course, after a victory over Espanyol, are through to the round of 16 against Olympiacos. Been a couple of weeks, obviously, since that game. We've managed to grab a win against Spurs in that time, and then, of course, a bore 0-0 draw against Brighton since then as well. A few days to recover since that, but it's been very, very strange, and it feels surreal almost at times, what's been going on in the world, not just with football, just in general, doesn't it? Obviously, with this outbreak of the coronavirus, which I don't really want to talk about too much. Everyone's got their own opinions and so on of it, but yeah, it's been up in the air really, this game. I know plenty of Wolves fans who booked travel, were going to watch the game, whether that be through travel that they sorted themselves or through sport options, which was an option that I was going to look at doing, but obviously at the time money and the time didn't really work out, so I was going to be giving this one a miss. And then of course news broke that Greece, I think this was sort of Sunday, Monday, Greece were looking to stop all sporting events for a few weeks at least, I think. And we're just waiting on confirmation on that on Monday. That was then confirmed behind closed doors that the game was going to be, obviously, without any fans. I think there were rumours that UEFA were going to try and overturn that to allow fans to go in there. So the coronavirus thing is still pretty minimal in Greece, but obviously there is that outlanding risk. And then, of course, news broke yesterday that the Nottingham Forest and Olympiacos owner actually picked up coronavirus whilst being in England. So that then throws up all sorts of issues. Did he get it in Greece? Has he passed it to the Greek players? Has he passed it to the English players? So obviously that's thrown Premier League games in doubt now as well. And of course then there were talks that Wolves did officially with UEFA try and get the game postponed. I think for the health and safety of our players, our fans, our staff, the board as well, I think it sort of made sense. So as I say, it's been a surreal couple of days really. The game is going ahead as planned, obviously still behind closed doors unfortunately for those fans who purchased tickets. So it's going to be very, very strange watching the game on BT Sport. And seeing how the players play, how the atmosphere or lack of atmosphere is going to be. So it's going to be really, really strange. To be honest, obviously Nuno seemed really, really upset and he wasn't happy about it. The last day or so has really shown to me how Nuno can be. I know I've spoken to a lot of people before that Nuno and people that work at Wolves, and Nuno is quite a reserved guy. He's not a gossip, or you'll sometimes struggle maybe to get a conversation out of him, as we've seen in the media as well. But the last day or so has really shown me how much he cares about this football club, the fans and the players. A lot of managers have brushed this off. I know people like Jurgen Klopp don't really want to talk about it, but Guardiola and Nuno really, really, backs the fans in this scenario, and it will be really, really interesting to see how the Premier League reacts to this. UEFA at the moment don't really seem to be bothered about it, but it will be interesting to see how things develop over the next week or so, especially with, of course, Olympiacos coming to Molineux. But yeah, the last day also showed me how much Nuno cares, but the way he reacted so negatively to this fixture got me a little bit worried, because I thought if the game does go ahead, I don't want this negativity to be in the players' minds and relate to that on the pitch, because if things do get slightly better in the next 7 days or so, I'd hate for us to take a pretty, be behind on aggregate or whatnot, because we haven't really, I know it's hard to, but I haven't really put a positive spin on it. But then I read Nuno's comments today, and I think he knows what's happened, why it's happened, and he has almost added a positive twist to it. So I think he knows he's going to try and get it as to business as usual to try and get us the win. And I think Wolves are a bigger and stronger team than Olympiacos, but we know I think Wolves have got a big advantage with their home fans not being there. We could take that advantage into next week. But of course, it is going to be a pretty difficult game for Wolves regardless. And with the situation, of course, the Olympiacos players have had to be tested for this virus, all coming back negative, thankfully. So it's good to hear that they're pretty fit and healthy. But of course, that's going to be in the back of their minds as well. So this has confused and made the preparation for this game so difficult for both teams. Nuno's not going to be doing any press conferences before or after the game. He's told players not to do any interviews as well. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty muted, and but it will be interesting to see how Wolves can get on. Unfortunately, I haven't attached them on this video because I'm recording it on my phone, but I did have some voice notes off an Olympiacos fan from Greece, currently living in England at the moment, before ahead of the game, really. It sounds like he's pretty disappointed about the situation with the fans as well. Pinpointed a couple of players, in particularly Matteo Valbuena. I think a few of you may be familiar with him, the Frenchman. Only a little guy, but real good midfielder for them as well. A player that I know of, and some of you may have heard of, the Portuguese goalkeeper José Sá. I know he had a couple of injuries before this game, had some stitches in his head. But I read an article today that it seems and it sounds like he's fit and he could play and start against Wolves tomorrow, the goalkeeper as well. In regards to Wolves team news, Johnny and Morgan Gibbs-White are the two injured players. They won't be travelling with the squad, but I've seen some images today, of course. Bruno Jordão, he's going to be travelling, and of course I'd imagine the majority of the first team are going to be travelling as normal as well. Of course, Daniel Podence played from Olympiacos, Wolves signed him from the Greek club in January, so he's going to have some intel on how they're going to play and their players and so on. But there are a couple of Portuguese contingent as well at Olympiacos. Their manager is Portuguese. They've got Ruben Semedo as well, who is sort of centre-back or could play in the midfield as well. So it is going to be a really, really interesting game. Feeling a little bit more upbeat about it today. I was pretty down about it yesterday, but of course what happens. We go with it, and as long as our players and fans return fit, healthy, that's all I'm bothered about, really. So didn't really want to give a score prediction because honestly because of the situation I can really see it going either way, but I'm going to go with Olympiacos 0, Wolves 1 to take that slight slender lead with the away goal back to Molineux for next week. Well, fingers crossed everything gets better for everyone sooner rather than later. Really, football is one of the things I think we all care about the most, and other than everyone's health and happiness, I really hope, football is one of the more important things, and I hope we can get the world back on track sooner rather than later. But let me know your thoughts anyway, guys, on the whole situation, whether you think UEFA probably should have postponed this game. In hindsight, they probably should have. The score prediction as well, and how you think Wolves and the team are going to react to this. But be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with my thoughts after the game tomorrow. And fingers crossed Wolves can get I'd say 3 points, but hopefully Wolves can get the win and take the advantage back to Molineux.